Today, LEGO is one of the most famous toy brands in human history. Millions of people around the world have grown up building houses, cars, cities, and entire worlds with small plastic bricks. But the story of LEGO did not begin with a billion-dollar empire. It began with a small workshop, a struggling carpenter, and a dream that almost disappeared many times. In 1932, in the small Danish town of Billund, a carpenter named Ole Kirk Christiansen was facing one of the toughest periods of his life. The world was suffering from the Great Depression, and many businesses were collapsing. Selling expensive furniture was becoming harder every day. Instead of giving up, Ole Kirk decided to create something simpler that ordinary families could afford. He started making wooden toys, small cars, animals, and other creative designs that brought happiness to children. At first, LEGO was not a famous company. It was just a small workshop trying to survive. But Ole Kirk believed that toys were more than just entertainment. He believed they could help children develop creativity, imagination, and problem-solving skills. In 1934, he gave his company the name LEGO, inspired by the Danish words "leg godt," which means play well. Nobody knew that this simple name would one day become recognized across the entire world. But LEGO's journey was far from easy. The company faced difficult times, including a devastating factory fire that destroyed much of its production. Many people would have considered this the end, but Ole Kirk rebuilt and continued moving forward. He believed that every failure was an opportunity to create something better. Then, LEGO discovered a new material that could change the future of the company forever: plastic. While many people believed plastic toys would never replace traditional wooden toys, Ole Kirk saw something different. He imagined a toy that would not limit a child's creativity, a toy that could become anything a child imagined. This idea would eventually lead to the creation of one of the most famous products in the world, a simple brick that could build unlimited possibilities. But before LEGO could become a global empire, it had to overcome its biggest challenge yet. By the 1950s, LEGO had created something completely different from any toy before it: a small plastic brick that could connect with other pieces and transform into almost anything a child could imagine. But creating the brick was only the beginning. The real challenge was proving that this simple idea could change the entire toy industry. LEGO continued improving its designs and created a system where every brick could connect perfectly with other bricks, even years after they were made. This was the secret behind LEGO's success. A child could build a small house today and use the same pieces years later to create something completely new. LEGO was no longer just a toy. It became a tool for creativity. As the popularity of LEGO grew, families around the world started discovering the endless possibilities of building with bricks. Children were not just following instructions. They were creating their own ideas, stories, and imaginary worlds. During the following decades, LEGO expanded beyond Denmark and became a global brand. New sets, different themes, and creative designs attracted millions of fans. The company understood something important. The true value of LEGO was not inside the plastic pieces. It was inside the imagination of the people using them. As LEGO continued growing, it became a symbol of creativity and learning. Parents loved it because children were developing problem-solving skills while playing. And expanding into different areas. They created new products, entered new markets, and tried to grow faster than ever before. For a while, everything seemed perfect. LEGO had become one of the most respected toy companies in the world. But behind the success, problems were slowly beginning to appear. The toy industry was changing. Technology was becoming more powerful. Video games were attracting children's attention. And LEGO was about to face a challenge that would test whether this legendary company could survive. Because even the strongest brands can lose their way. And for LEGO, the hardest chapter of its story was still waiting. By the early 2000s, LEGO was facing the biggest challenge in its history. The company that had inspired millions of children around the world was now struggling to survive. For years, LEGO had expanded into too many directions. It created new products, entered different markets, and invested in projects that moved away from the simple idea that made the company special. Instead of becoming stronger, LEGO started losing focus. The company was spending more money than it was making. Sales were falling, and many people began questioning whether LEGO could recover. A brand that once represented creativity was now fighting for its future. But LEGO decided not to give up. The company looked back at what made it successful in the first place. The answer was simple. The bricks. LEGO realized that people did not love the company because of complicated products or endless expansion. They loved it because a simple collection of bricks could become anything: a spaceship, a city, a castle, an entire world created by imagination. LEGO started listening to its fans and returned its focus to creativity. The company reduced unnecessary projects, improved its products, and rebuilt its connection with customers. Slowly, everything began to change. LEGO introduced new sets that attracted both children and adults. It created experiences that connected with fans around the world. Then LEGO expanded beyond traditional toys. The brand entered movies, video games, and major partnerships that introduced LEGO to a new generation. The small plastic bricks that began in a Danish workshop had become a global cultural phenomenon. Today, LEGO is more than a toy company. It is a symbol of creativity, innovation, and the power of imagination. The journey of LEGO proves that success is not about never failing. Even the greatest companies can make mistakes. What separates successful companies from the rest is their ability to learn, adapt, and rebuild. Because sometimes the answer to saving the future is hidden in the same idea that created the past. LEGO started with a simple belief: play well. And decades later, that simple idea continues to inspire millions of people around the world. A small brick became a global empire, and a small workshop in Denmark changed the way the world plays forever. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us create more stories like this. Thank you for watching.